what men who insist women go natural are really saying to you and to me. Hello and welcome to Chengi's World. I am Chengi and you, my precious one, of course, are my world. Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel, where we're going to be talking about this new breed of men. Whew. I tell you what, there's this new breed of men. They've always been there, to be honest. They've been there pretty much all my life. I remember when I started off in makeup as a makeup artist. For those of you who don't know, I was a makeup artist for 20 years, and it's actually makeup that brought me to YouTube, and actually not it was makeup that brought me to YouTube and not relationships. In fact, it was makeup that really brought me to relationships. But for 20 years, I was a makeup artist, and I remember certainly in the earlier days, you know, the ladies, me and my girlfriends, there was only one counter in Selfridges where there were black girls selling makeup. With the only black counter with black girls, and I think there was Fashion Fair across. There was no MAC. There were none of these kind of trendy products that kind of cover the whole range of ethnicities. It was just Florrie Roberts and Fashion Fair. And I remember the abuse we used to get from black women, you know, telling us we were not normal, we were dolly birds, and we need to get more natural. And there was so much attack for women that wore makeup and did their hair and nails. It's like it was vengeful, and you know, either the women were kind of flocking to learn, or were being attacked. You just didn't know who the person who's coming to the counter, if they're coming to buy makeup or to tell you about yourself. And so for me, having people kind of go like this in my face about makeup has been a lifelong experience. And when I was younger, it would really kind of upset me, because people would speak to me like I was stupid, and they would kind of, you know, there was just this stereotype that if you wore makeup and you had good hair and you dressed, you know, you had some level of glamour on you, you also had to be thick, stupid, and beyond, you know, whatever. And so having no other passion and being the stubborn person that I am, it didn't change my mind about my career. I was doing very well, actually. But I have to be honest that over the years, you know, brands like MAC and Bobbi Brown came onto the market and made makeup so trendy, and there was a new breed of women. And now what we have is the extreme, because obviously when I started in makeup, it was all about being natural, looking as close to yourself as possible, but just a little bit better. That was the philosophy of makeup for those original makeup girls, okay? Myself. And yes, I'm giving away my age. Hallelujah. But, you know, but now we are in a whole new advent of girls that are like, you know, sometimes I watch these beauty influencers, not all of them, but most of them, and I'm thinking, how much product are you putting on your face? Like, my God. And some of us, I just feel like we've just gone to the other side of, like, we've lost the plot. Like, you know, it's like drinking a glass of wine at night, maybe two is, you know, social, and then bottles and bottles and bottles it's just too much. There is a thing called too much, and I know I've spoken about this on my channel. You don't need to be contoured to the hilt and highlighted to the hilt unless you are a television personality. That is television, screen, and photographic makeup that we're walking around the streets every day wearing. And of course, men are losing the will, because some of us will take that makeup off and there's a whole different human being underneath that makeup. That's like walking around deceiving, right? And I get it. I get the vexation. I get the sense in men that they feel like they're being deceived and robbed. And, you know, quite frankly, a quality, high value man is just not going to try and hurt your feelings. He's just gonna keep on moving, you know, because men, their eyes have become a little bit more sophisticated. I was talking to a guy friend of mine, and he was like, you know, Chengi, I can just tell looking at a woman, I know what's underneath. Like, they have learned to be able to kind of see through the mask a little bit. But, you know, it's sad, but that's how it is. And I'm sure we're all gonna come back to a balance. But I say all of that to say that there is merit in men saying, please God, please, women, stop faking it. Just let's, can we just get back to who you actually naturally are, so that when I wake up in the morning with you one morning, I'm not thinking, oh my God, who's that? You know, and I get it. And if I was a guy, I'd feel that kind of way. You know, I probably would feel that way. But this is not what this video is about. And these are not the men that I am talking about. I'm talking about men who are you know, attacking women who do wear their makeup a bit more natural, who aren't, you know, the makeup I'm wearing now is for screen. It's because I'm filming, it's because I'm taking photographs. But when I am out on the street, I am constantly as close to natural. I mean, my eyebrows are done in concealer, and that's pretty much, and maybe a lip balm or lip gloss, and that's pretty much what you will see me with if I have to go outside or be somewhere. I don't, you know, wear full face, because I would like for people to actually see me. And even now I'm wearing very, very little. I take good care of my skin, and so I don't have to wear a lot of makeup, even though I might appear like I am, but I really am not. And even if I was, I can do whatever the hell I like, right? It's an expression of who I am. But I say all of that to say that there is a breed of men that want women to not groom themselves, not preen themselves. And there's a few reasons. These are, number one, feminine men. Feminine men don't want to compete on the pretty. All right, they want to be the pretty one, and your behind has to not be pretty. So these are the guys that are like, I like my girls natural. That's number one. They don't want the competition because they're feminine. They work on pretty. They work on being pretty. And, you know, you're not supposed to be the pretty one. So they just don't want that competition. And some of these men don't even know that's what's going on consciously with them. Number two, a woman that takes care of herself, that goes out of her way to have great hair, to manicure her nails, to make sure she's got great skin, and wears makeup beautifully, flawlessly, naturally, just reads more expensive. It's just that simple. And men don't want to feel like they can't afford you. And that is really about bringing you down a notch, because if you are exquisite looking and it's clear that it's because you take good care of yourself, he thinks, I won't be able to finance that. And you know, for me, I use it as an elimination process. I really feel like a man that looks at me and thinks, oh my God, Tony, and I just think to myself, thank you for deselecting yourself, because you've just saved me the hassle. Okay, so it's really about, you know, his being broke. That's really what it is. He can't afford to help you maintain, and he doesn't want to feel like he's not a man to do that. It's just how it is. And it's also a control thing. Number three, it's a control thing. He wants to control you. If a man can say, and this is a really big red flag. If a man sees you wearing red lipstick and he turns around and goes, you know, I don't like girls that wear red lipstick, that's a red flag. Because what he wants to see is, if you will stop wearing red lipstick, then he can manipulate and control you. And, you know, oh, I don't like girls that wear this. And he can clearly see that you are wearing extensions or have lashes or whatever. He's already starting his grooming process, his narcissistic grooming process, to tear you down and to make you, to begin to redefine you and make you anxious about who you are. So whenever I get a man criticizing or saying he doesn't like women that wear weaves or wear wigs or wear makeup, I think to myself, wow, you know, I look at my circle of friends. Let's say out of 10 of my girlfriends, 2 of us wear hair, makeup, kind of like me. And 8 of my other girlfriends hardly wear makeup, wear their hair natural. So going on that as a little sample, there are a lot more natural beauties walking up and down than they are women that actually groom themselves at a very high level, who are preened and manicured every day and hold themselves to a certain standard of grooming. there are a lot fewer of us, okay? As much as you think everybody's doing it, there are a lot more women that are not. There are a lot more women that wear their hair natural, as in permed or natural, unpermed, but still no extensions. A lot more women that walk around with no makeup, a lot more. So in my mind, line us all up. 8 of us are beautiful, natural, intelligent, smart, all these wonderful things. 2 of us are all of that, plus we go that extra mile to look after ourselves. You went past all the 8 that you claim you claim you want women that don't wear makeup and are natural. You literally did not bother with any of those 8 women, and you found yourself, to me and a friend of mine. That tells me that you don't actually desire natural women. You just can't dismantle her because she's already kind of not doing what you use as a tool to dismantle. So what you are looking for is to dismantle someone. And that is so sociopathic and narcissistic and psychopathic. It's such a psychopathic trait to want to find somebody who you've got. Why don't you talk to these other 8? Just go find you a natural girl and ignore the ones that are not so natural. Just like go find you one of those. But you don't want that. You want to dismantle a woman so you can shape her. And a lot of narcissistic men love strong women. They love women that have it together because they enjoy the dismantling process. So for me, that is a massive red flag. So if a man's like, oh, that women who wear makeup, whatever, truth be told, if you really don't, you don't need to have the conversation with me. You can just go to all the other women in the world that are very natural and find you one. Get what I mean? Makes sense? Yeah, so be very careful. Massive red flag. And the 5th one, but not least, I believe I gave you 4. I don't know how many I've given you. But last but not least is that he doesn't want other people looking at you. A lot of guys are insecure. And if they're with a glamorous, well put together woman who looks great, that means other men are going to notice her. That means other men are going to compete for her. And he just doesn't feel adequate. He's deeply insecure. And so he would rather you looked average or tone it down completely so that you're his and only his. And I remember talking to a guy friend of mine who was married to a model, and that relationship ended. And I said to him, oh gosh, I had a dream about you and you were marrying a very beautiful woman. And he said, I don't want a beautiful woman anymore. I want an average woman because I don't want to share her with the world. And he was so adamant that he didn't want to be with a beautiful woman anymore. And then I was speaking to another guy friend of mine, and it was kind of similar, that they'd got to a point where when a man dates an attractive woman, he has to have enough masculinity and sense of self-worth and self-belief to know that I got you, like my girl ain't going nowhere. And that's usually men who are financially stable, who take care of themselves. They tend to be confident that they can keep their girl. But when a man is insecure or is not financially stable and has issues, he's gonna not want the competition. And remember, competitiveness is masculine. You know, a masculine man is competitive. And so a masculine man is gonna want to be with a woman that all his friends are like, damn, okay, where'd you get her? That's typical masculine men want to conquer. They want the idea that they got the finest, best, well put together girl. And so they're not going to think to themselves, oh, you know, other men are going to want her. And whether she's natural or enhanced, you know, he still wants other men to think, you did good, mate, you did good, right? He still wants to feel like he's walking in with a prize. And so, you know, a guy who is insecure doesn't want that feeling. He just wants his girl to follow him behind like his tail, sit down, nobody notices her, he takes her home, keeps her safe. And usually those are very toxic relationships. So don't fall for the guy that talks about wanting women to be natural. And if you hear a guy say that and you are not a natural girl, we're all natural women, but if you enjoy grooming yourself, being glamorous, having great hair, doing your nails, making sure that you're always looking your absolute best, by enhancing your looks, which women have been doing from time in a day. It's not a modern thing. Our ancestors did it. The ones that live in the village did it. Put mud in their hair and color in their hair and paint their faces different colors. Women have been enhancing their beauty from time and eternity. We just do it differently in the 21st century. We're doing absolutely nothing different from our ancestors. And of course, there are women who just love to wake up and be who they are, and men that love them like that. High value men that like them like that, and high value women that like to be that way too. So, you know, it is no criticism, but if a man comes up to you and you like to enhance your beauty and he says that to you, that is a serious red flag. But obviously, because if he really likes the natural woman, then he can focus his attention on that woman that is happiest and feels the most beautiful when she's natural. So I hope this video was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. In the meantime, take care of you. Bye bye now.